guys. Welcome back to your Mindset, Your Power. I've been thinking about this lately. If you ask me what's the most important skill anyone can learn in life, I would tell you without hesitation, it's emotional intelligence. Yes, because the truth is, no matter how smart, talented, or hardworking you are, if you can't manage your emotions, communicate effectively, or handle the emotions of others, life gets heavy. Relationships suffer and get harder, and happiness starts to feel far away. Yes, emotional intelligence is that quiet power behind how we show up. And that's why today we're going to unpack it. Not just the science of it, but how it actually shows up in your life. I will share stories, analogies, tools, and some personal experiences that shaped how I learned emotional intelligence the hard way. Because this is something I've learned not just as a coach, but through my own life. So grab your coffee, my friend, and let's dive in. And I would like to start with a personal story. Because when I think back to my childhood, I realized emotional intelligence showed up in my life long before I even knew what it meant. Yes, I was around 9 or 10 years old back home in Colombia. My dad used to take me to a farm where he grew corn, and the man who helped him harvest lived nearby with his wife and kids, a little younger than me. One day, I found out they didn't know how to read or write. Yes, they were not even going to school. And I remember that broke my heart. So I started going with my dad more often, and I started bringing notebooks and pencils, and I became their little teacher. Probably had no clue what I was doing, but I still remember how good it felt helping them write their names and seeing their smiles. And one day, they invited me to stay for lunch, and all they had was rice soup. Listen, my heart shrunk. I realized not everyone had what I had. And I still get emotional thinking about it. Trust me. Yes. So I told my dad, and we started bringing them some groceries too. That memory never left me. No, my friend, it was the beginning of understanding empathy. Seeing someone's reality, feeling it, and wanting to help. That was my first real experience of emotional intelligence in action. The human side of intelligence. But as I grew older, I learned empathy was only one piece of the puzzle. Emotional intelligence isn't just understanding others' feelings. No, it's also regulating your own. And that part, I had to learn the hard way. Because for a big part of my life, I was too emotional. Well, I'm still emotional, but I was feisty, as people called me. If something or someone bothered me, I reacted. If someone said something hurtful, I reacted. If something felt unfair, I flipped. Yes, I wasn't just feisty, I was impulsive. And afterward, I would feel exhausted, replaying everything in my head and beating myself up for my reactions. That's when I realized being emotional and being emotionally intelligent are two very different things. I had empathy, yes, but I was missing self-regulation. And that's where emotional intelligence truly starts to change your life. Yes, my friend, because sometimes, maybe you agree with me, life doesn't give you the best environment to learn how to regulate your emotions, right? Especially when you have been hurt or lived through chaos, when you have had to walk on eggshells or defend yourself emotionally or physically. Because when you lived in that kind of an environment, your nervous system learns to react, not to feel safe. And listen, that's not weakness, that's survival, my friend. But emotional intelligence is the path from survival to healing. It's how we unlearn the chaos and start building a relationship with peace. So when you start responding instead of reacting, when you pause before letting your emotions take the wheel, that's emotional intelligence in action. And that's what I want to dig deeper into, my friend, to really understand what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is simply your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, and recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. EI isn't just a skill. No, it's how we heal, connect, and grow. It's how we stop being prisoners of our past reactions and start becoming leaders of our emotional world. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, one of the pioneers in this field, breaks it into 4 main parts. First, self-awareness is recognizing what you feel and why. 2, self-regulation, managing those feelings in a healthy way. 3, empathy, understanding others' feelings. And 4, relationship management or social skills. So you use all the above to build better relationships and healthy connections through empathy and communication. And here's how I like to explain it with a simple analogy. Emotional intelligence is like being the pilot of your own airplane. Your emotions are the weather. You can't control if it's stormy, windy, or clear, right? But you can learn to fly through it with awareness and skill. Without EI, we get tossed around by turbulence and chaos. With EI, we adjust, we breathe, and we keep our hands steady on the controls. And here's the fascinating part, my friend. Emotional intelligence isn't just a nice concept. No, it's wired into how our brain works. Allow me to explain. When something happens, our emotions are triggered in the amygdala. You know, that part of the brain responsible for survival? It reacts first, fast, and instinctively, before logic even enters the picture. That's why you can know you shouldn't yell, but you still yell. Your brain was hijacked by emotion before your logic could catch up. But the good news is that we have our prefrontal cortex, you know, that thinking, reasoning part of the brain, that can calm the storm. And that's what building emotional intelligence does. It trains your brain to pause, process, and respond instead of reacting. It's like building a bridge between your heart and your mind, so they work together, not against each other. So why it matters? Why EI matters? Why emotional regulation is so important in relationships, work, families, in every aspect of life? Let's talk about the big why. Simply because emotional intelligence isn't just a bonus skill. No, or something that's nice to have. No, it's a core life skill. Knowing your why gives you emotional direction, my friend. When you understand your own why, it's easier to understand others. It becomes your compass. On the days when life feels heavy or uncertain, it reminds you why you started, why you care, and why you keep going. Listen, in relationships like marriages, some of them don't fall apart before people stop loving each other. No, they fall apart because they stop understanding each other. Because one person reacts instead of listening, or shuts down instead of expressing what's really going on inside. They lack the emotional tools to regulate their emotions. Think about it. When one person can't handle their anger or defensiveness, and the other can't express what they feel without blaming, love gets lost in translation. And I've seen it in workplaces too, my friend. Teams fall apart because of egos, not lack of skill. Leaders who can't manage their emotions end up leading through fear, reacting, and they lack inspiration, respect, and compassion. And in families, how many conflicts could soften if people just pause and ask, what's really behind this emotion? Right? The truth is, emotional intelligence keeps relationships alive, my friend. It's the difference between a small argument turning into a full-blown breakup or becoming a moment of growth. Because when you build emotional intelligence, we stop fighting each other and start facing the real problem in a calm, controlled way. And the truth is that there are some myths about EI. Yes. So let's clear some of them. Because a lot of people misunderstand emotional intelligence. So let's talk about the myth number 1. Being emotional intelligence means you're always calm. No, my friend. It means you notice when you're not calm before it controls you. Even the most mindful person loses it sometimes. We all do, right? EI just helps you recover faster. Myth number 2. Emotionally intelligent people don't get angry. No, it's not true. We just know how to pause before turning that anger into a fire that burns bridges. And myth number 3, it's something you're either born with or not. Nope, wrong. Emotional intelligence isn't something you're born with or without. No, it's something you build. It grows through self-reflection, awareness, and practice. And yes, through a lot of humble moments when you catch yourself reacting and think, okay, that was not my best EI moment. Right? So, next, how do we actually develop emotional intelligence? Here are some tools, my friend, that truly work. Tools that I practice every single day and I share with my clients. So let's go. Tool number 1, pause and label. When a strong emotion hits, name it. Very clear, be very specific. I'm feeling frustrated. I am disappointed. I'm exhausted. I'm angry. Listen, studies show that labeling an emotion actually lowers its intensity in the brain. Let's go to tool number 2. Check in with yourself. I do this in the mornings, especially on those days when I don't wake up feeling my best, right? So I ask myself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what triggered it? You can even set a reminder to do an emotional check-in twice a day. Tool number 3. Create space between stimulus and response. Count to 5. Take a deep breath. Go for a walk, exercise, walk away, anything that helps you respond instead of react. Here's something that it's been really helpful for me. When I notice I'm on edge, that I'm about to react or lose it, my family already knows. If they hear me saying, I'll be right back, they just smile and know, oops, she needs a moment. They know I'm going to sit in silence for a few minutes, breathe, and reset. Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. That's enough to calm my nervous system and it shifts my energy. And then I come back with, more compassion and patience. So I don't respond in a way I will regret later. That small practice has changed how I show up for myself and for the people I love. Tool number 4, practice empathy. Try to imagine what the other person might be feeling or fearing. Empathy isn't agreeing, it's understanding. Use active listening to understand their perspective. Acknowledge their feelings, even if you disagree. It's fine. And yes, it's also totally okay to establish clear boundaries to protect yourself while still showing respect. Tool number 5, journal or reflect daily. This is an amazing habit to build, my friend. I usually ask myself these questions at the end of the day. What triggered me today? What did I handle well? What can I do better next time? That awareness helps you regulate your emotions and make progress every single day. And when you write them down, it's even more powerful, my friend. Tool number 6, the mirror rule. How you speak to others often reflect how you speak to yourself. So if you want to grow your EI, start with your inner dialogue. When you practice self-compassion, it becomes easier to extend compassion outward. My dear friend, these are powerful habits and tools. They build that bridge between emotion and reason, little by little. And I love analogies, so let me give you one more. Right? Why not, right? Think of emotional intelligence like being the conductor of an orchestra. Each instrument represents an emotion: anger, sadness, joy, fear, jealousy. If one plays too loud, the music feels chaotic, right? If one is ignored, the melody feels flat. But when you listen, balance, and guide each sound, that's harmony. And that's what emotional intelligence gives you: harmony inside yourself and in all your relationships, my friend. I love this conversation. I hope you love it too. So let's recap so it stays fresh in your mind. Emotional intelligence is the most important skill you can build in your life. It's made up of self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. It's the bridge between your emotions and your action. And it helps you navigate relationships, challenges, and everyday life with more calm and connection. And when you build emotional intelligence, you don't stop feeling. No, you start leading your emotions instead of letting them lead you. And that, my friend, is a true superpower. And listen, someone I know recently told me, I wish I'd had learned emotional intelligence when I was younger. I would have been happier. I would have made the people I love happier too. And I'm here to tell that person, and to you, my friend, it's never too late. Emotional intelligence isn't just about managing emotions. It's about living from the heart without losing your peace. It's about learning to stay grounded when the storm hits, to listen instead of react, to connect instead of attack. And one day, you will notice it. That moment you stay calm in chaos, or speak with kindness when you used to snap, and then you realize, this is who I've been becoming all along. Imagine how our homes, our relationships, our workplaces would look if more people led with empathy and awareness instead of ego and reactivity, right? The truth is, your emotions are not your enemies. They are your messengers, my friend. And when you learn to listen to them, you don't just get better at life, you start living it fully. So keep practicing, keep growing, and remember, your mindset truly is your power. I believe in you, my friend. Thanks so much for having this conversation with me today. and share this episode with someone you love. I appreciate you very much, my dear friend. Have an amazing week.